Transmitting to you from Old Heart Radio.
Prepare to have your bones chilled and your hairs raised. It's the WacArnold's Brothers podcast.
Welcome home.
All right, well, let's see if this meeting is being fully recorded. All right, dear and wonderful hot dogs, another Old Heart Radio podcast coming your way. This is episode 6 of what?
The WacArnold's Brothers.
Yeah, dude, the WacArnold's Brothers podcast is back. We got a fresh sode. We consumed quite the slow burner, I'll say.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. Evilspeak is.
There's like a couple, kills, but the last 15 minutes is just like utter fucking carnage.
Dude, it's intense.
Yeah.
This was a 1981 movie.
Yes.
This was actually the first movie that I've ever seen starring Clint Howard.
Okay.
You know
like
what I mean?
Fully,
fully starring. You know, like
yeah.
he was the lead character in this movie.
Exactly.
So, you know, and I will say this, that dude had this he had this like weird handsomeness in this whole movie.
Yeah.
I kept being like, why is everybody hating on this guy, man? like he's like a pretty boy in this situation almost. But
yeah.
So basically the entirety of this movie takes place at the military academy that his character attends, correct?
Yeah, the Andover Military Academy.
Andover Military Academy. Aside from like the opening sequence, I suppose,
right.
which was this like, I mean, like it sets up parts of the other movie, but it felt so strange at the time. Like
it does, yeah.
It's like all of a sudden you just jump into like some priests like walking along a beach and like this really like like really like somber fucking setting, and like you come to find out they're banishing this like evil Satanist cult leader dude named Esteban.
Father Esteban, yeah.
and it ends with like this whole sequence ends with him like burn. It was hard to tell. It was like there was like some sort of like flame happening, but he also like chopped the head off of his like, I don't know,
a follower,
a follower, I guess. It was all very like dense.
I love the transition though, how he cuts her head off, and then it transitioned into present day, and it's a soccer ball flying through the. It's like that was a cool cut.
It was.
No pun intended. Yeah.
It was, man. I really love like that kind of stuff because it's just like it's those kind of things that like really work for the movie, but at the same time just over time become very like just kind of funny to watch, like because it's a really good cut, but it's also like head to soccer ball. It seems like a very like, for some reason I picture something like that in like a Good Burger skit or something, like well because I don't know, the first thing that jumps into my head is like there's this is such a hard cut really quick. There's this scene in Good Burger where like Kel is rolling blading to work, and at some point he's like running or rolling through this basketball court, and he like gets his hands on the basketball, and then out of nowhere like a baby gets switched, and like somehow the baby gets like thrown into the hoop,
and they're like, oh
yeah, babies, basketballs, heads, soccer balls, it's either way it works.
I get what you're saying. And then we instantly get introduced to the main character of the movie,
Cooper Smith.
Stanley Cooper Smith, and then like the 4 bullies who are just throughout this movie, there's no redeemable qualities. They're like the biggest pieces of shit.
Absolutely, dude. Like they ramp up their shittiness as the movie goes on. Like they start out in a shitty place, and you're guys like, wow, these guys are fucking dickheads. And then like they go far with it later on. But
it's true.
Yeah, you get introduced to all these, and like kind of what seems like the main provocation for the bullying, which is like the soccer team. where like apparently Cooper Smith isn't really the greatest soccer player, but he loves to play and wants to play, and the bullies are like, you fucking suck, Cooper Dick, and like
But we quickly like get introduced to all the characters that it's like nobody likes this guy. Like the coach doesn't like him, the reverend, the colonel, like they're all there's little lines where the colonel's like, and then we have students like Cooper Smith,
yeah, dude, like his English teacher picks on him and like calls him like super weird, like Cooper Smith. Like I don't know, dude, it's like super weird. But you're right, dude, like everybody's like seems to have it out for this guy for some reason.
Yeah, like what did he do?
What the fuck did he do? Like
the worst part at the beginning is that they make fun of him for his parents being dead.
Dude, I know. It's like they're having like a parents' day or something like that. They're like, what is a social worker gonna come for him? Like it's like fuck
it's
you,
so
dude.
Fucked
like,
up. Yeah,
like, you guys are fucking pricks. Yeah, but like this. So basically, yeah, you kind of get that picture painted where it's like he's sort of the outcast, he's being bullied on and kind of forced to the outside, and one of these sort of I feel like somehow this leads to basically him kind of like being forced to do like the chore of like cleaning out the cellar in the church or whatever.
It doesn't explain why, but like just he's instantly like I'm on punishment and I gotta clean the cellar out. Yeah,
just regular old punishment for Cooper Smith,
right?
But yeah, so he goes and this is like I'm so surprised that he was like the first person to discover this elaborate, creepy cellar area. Presumably besides like maybe the janitor guy or the custodian guy or whatever that was down there.
Sarge doesn't even know. They call him Sarge.
Yeah, you're right. Sarge doesn't even fucking know.
Yeah, it's just been there and I love how before he finds it, or like maybe it's while he finds it, the Reverend's talking to this lady that he's giving a tour to, and there is no way in hell that a church would ever acknowledge that their founder was this like satanic guy, like this is the land, this was his land. Like, no.
Oh yes, it all went down here, man. And what I mean, it basically did though. That's the fucking crazy thing. It's like you're right. Like, there's no way that like I feel like they would like advertise this because the depth to it, like the shit that Cooper Smith finds in the cellar, is deep, man. It's like he finds this, he like there's all sorts of like books in Latin. He finds that particular little one with the
diary,
emblem, diary, and he starts, it intrigues him. I mean, of course, would you have, like, if you found that in a creepy cellar, would you be like, dude, what the fuck is this? Like, I want to check it out.
Of course.
Yeah, of course, man. That was like my natural reaction to most of these kind of situations in these kind of movies where it's like, well, yeah, I do kind of want to know what the fuck that is.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, so he finds that particular diary, and it's funny because
Esteban's diary.
Esteban's diary, because it seems like they're also sort of studying, or they have studied Latin in this military school.
In his class, yeah.
And so, he knows that it's Latin. He knows it needs to be translated better, and that leads Cooper Smith to finding a way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But what directly happens after the cellar sequence? It's
he goes in the cellar and he finds the book, and then he has a nightmare where he's like, you maybe think that it's happening in the cellar, but it turns out to be a nightmare. But like the baby that's in the jar comes out, and then he has a face-to-face confrontation with Father Esteban, who appears out of nowhere, but it was a dream.
Yeah. And
that's when he wakes up and his alarm clock's unplugged and his clothes are tied in knots because of the bullies, and he has to go to class.
What a fucking weird prank to pull on people.
I know.
Like, tying their clothes in knots. But I was also like, what a dick move. Like,
and mind you, like,
alarm clock.
They're at this academy, so they have to be past high school at this point. So they're probably like 19 or 20.
Yeah.
And it's just like, damn, these guys are still pulling this kind of shit.
Yeah, they're all pretending to be super seniors at this military academy, bullying other like young adults.
But yeah, he goes to class, and Hauptmann, his professor, is
just a jerk off, dude. Like, I couldn't get past the way he pronounced Cooper Smith's name. Like, I was just like, how
Cooper Smith? Yeah.
It was like, I think it was just like, why are you like? I feel like he's putting this extra emphasis on it just to be like salty or something, Like, it's just like a weird power move. But but even besides that, like, I guess like all of the bullies, and it seems like even some of the adults at times call him Cooper Dick. That's like his main nickname, which is so fucking frustrating. But so there's this like weird reference in that scene where they kind of cut to the classroom where the professor's like, he says something to the effect of like they're studying Julius Caesar, so they're gonna go and do training exercises like the Romans. It's like, this is a fucking, like, this military academy's taking it a little too far.
Yeah, because they're building like a catapult. Yeah,
they're going hard on it. But okay, so Cooper Smith's like late to class and whatnot, and so it causes kind of like that, everybody's attention was on him for a moment. But shit, where does he go after that? I'm having a hard time like.
His professor tells him that after your classes you got to go see the colonel.
That's it. I knew it. Okay.
Before he goes and sees the colonel, he's in the computer lab with the really old Apple computer,
Really.
And he starts translating the book from Latin to English.
Yep.
And learns about the Black Man. Yeah.
One of the most pivotal scenes, him discovering that the computer can translate this Latin like a motherfucker, dude. Like,
I know.
Dude, and his I'll give him this. Clint Howard at this point in his life probably had not used very many computers, but like if you see some of the shots of him like clicking his keys, there's like the sounds and his hand movements are so badly aligned. It's
hilarious.
It's so funny. But yeah, so he, like, that's right. He translates like a motherfucker, and then he kind of gets booted or whatever, right? Because it's like his allotted time was up and he had to go to see the colonel.
Mm-hmm.
But the colonel, when he gets there, is such a fucking ass to him. Like,
yeah,
he brings up like the fact that he's like, an orphan basically, and he like is like he's there for the welfare of his, like, by like the good graces of like the fucking school, it seems like. And then he fucking gives him like a lashing.
Yeah,
like,
he's like, bend over, Cooper Smith. Yeah,
dude, that dude got his rocks off on that shit. That was gross.
He has kind of a creepy line in that part where he's explaining to Cooper Smith how he's going to take him under his wing, and he's like, our mission is to turn out young men for the military.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah,
while he's in the office, though, he has to leave the Esteban's diary with the receptionist,
the secretary. Yeah,
what was her name?
I don't think it ever says her name.
I really don't know. I don't think I ever caught it. I'd have to look it up. But either way, he leaves the diary with her, and she kind of gets intrigued by it. And starts
That's
like
one way to put it.
Messing with the pendant a bit and whatnot, right?
Right.
Is that the same? I was having a hard time figuring this out because I didn't go back and actually look at it. I should have. Was that the same lady that was in the beginning of the movie?
No.
Okay, I thought that they for some reason I thought they like that was for a little bit, and I was thinking like, what, like, was there some sort of strange connection that I missed? Like, her immortal soul is here, Like,
wait. Like from the very, very beginning?
Yeah.
No, because
I really don't know.
That's interesting. I didn't notice that. If so,
fan theory.
The next, the next cool scene is it must be another punishment, but Cooper Smith is cleaning out the pig pen.
Must be another punishment. Damn, dude. Cooper Smith, he gets it, dude. He
does.
First, man. But yeah, he's at the pig pen. You're right.
And like you said, she's toying with the pentagram and the jewels on the front of the diary.
Yeah, and it seems to have a weird effect on the pigs in the pen, man. Well,
yeah,
like they all of a sudden start getting a little crazy, getting a little hog wild, if you will.
What the fuck?
that was worth it all alone. But so she's messing with the pendant, and it somehow like triggers these pigs, like, and they start freaking out. And they kind of like go after Cooper,
Like
Smith,
rush after him, yeah.
like, you know, just like, you know, tropping in the mud anyway, trying to apparently clean that. He barely gets out through the gate. Man, it was a dramatic scene. My heart was beating a bit right there. But you know, like, I always thought, I thought like right there, I thought it was just like a really interesting choice to like that it was like pigs of all, you know, that they were like kind of the beasts, and actually you see later on like they get used more, which was the kind of like why this scene like had context later. At first I was just sort of like, what a strange instance. I wonder if like the next time somebody picks it, like, will some giraffes in a zoo go crazy and like
yeah, I see. But yeah, it comes into play later.
It does. Okay, so after the pig pen debacle, is that when Cooper Smith goes to the cafeteria, or is he getting? No, he gets. I think he has to go get cleaned up first.
Well, he goes to get cleaned up, and the bullies have sabotaged his catapult, and not only that, the book is missing, and he thinks that they stole the book.
Yeah, when in reality it's actually the secretary who has it, or, you know, still on her desk or with her.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, one of the things that is kind of interesting, even though those dudes do bully him throughout, some of the you know, Cooper Smith's demeanor gets ramped up because he does think like that they've done stuff that they haven't necessarily done. But
true,
honestly, it's on them at this point. I kept thinking, like, every time they were like this, where they were sort of like misaccused of something, I was like, dude, they fucking deserve it. They're like always fucking with this guy. Like, everybody at the school,
they like throw his head out the
with
window. Yeah, exactly.
He's like this. He has to be walking around on edge, and that's actually something I really that really translated with Clint Howard's character as this movie got on. Like, you can tell he was just getting like more and more pushed to the edge as he went, which was really kind of interesting. But yeah, but what after that whole sequence, is that where he's, oh god damn, dude, I need to like write these.
So he's like down. He goes back to shows him in study hall using the computer again, and the whoever's working in the study lab is like, all right, like, you know, your time's up. And then the direct next scene is him in the basement with the computer. So
that's right. He just, instead of even giving up the computer, he just jacks it.
Takes it to the basement and starts setting up. Yeah,
dude, he sets up a fucking lair down there, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's right, dude. I can't believe that. I like when I like like, you know, he's gonna be using the computer at some point, but I didn't think he was gonna drag it all the way to the cellar. I was just like, but you know, the dude's getting like more into what he's reading. You know, he's researching Esteban's diary.
He tries to do the black mass here, and it's unsuccessful because he needs the blood of a consecrated host.
A consecrated host.
Yeah.
And nobody knows what a consecrated host is. I still don't know what a consecrated host is.
I should have looked it up. Yeah, I'm assuming it means like a good person or something.
Yeah. A good person, which this school apparently has none of.
Right. Or a holy person or something. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, and like at this point, I think the computer every now and then starts. I thought this was really funny. It just like, and it does it throughout the rest of the movie. Every now and then it'll just like flash like the Esteban's name on the screen.
It's like, Esteban. How's that happening?
Yeah. Dude, like that was the thing that I get that like again, like this is 1981, where like I'd say household computers weren't a thing, you know.
No, they weren't. Not for another while. Yeah.
Yeah, and people really thought that like computers could probably do like a litany of fucking things, but like some of the graphics and stuff like that they had like on this, you know, that were like on the computer screen were so wild. And I was like, how is this shit happening? Like how, you know, but it looks, I mean, like in this cool retro way now, like it like really like, it looks fucking cool to me. Like,
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
But yeah, so I did think it was really like, I don't know. I thought I for it being future tech, then I think it holds this like really cool charm and or almost in a way now.
It does, yeah.
Because you're just like, you know, computers can't like worship Satan.
Maybe today, but yeah.
Yeah. With the newest Apple update.
Yeah. So.
Oh man, yeah. So he needs a consecrated host.
And and then he has this short conversation with the Reverend where the Reverend's like basically mad at him because he still hasn't finished cleaning the basement, and then tells him to go to the yeah. And then he tells him to go to the mess hall where he gets shit on again because there's no food left.
Yeah, dude, like it cuts to this scene of him like scraping scraps out of this like hot plate, you know, or this like hot holder, and he's just and then like, but then possibly like the coolest, also greasiest character in the entire movie shows up.
Like he's like one of the two people that's nice to him. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Which like it's like the cook. I don't even like what I don't what was his name? I don't even
think they say his name either.
Yeah. I really don't know if I caught it. But but the cook shows up, you know, asking him like if he's hungry basically. He's but like the way he shows up, like his first appearance was so great. He's just like this like giant sweaty greasy looking man who has like he's like holding a knife in a table and he's just like, you hungry?
Okay, so who's more disgusting, the cook from this movie or the guy from the beginning of Chopping Mall that runs the Italian restaurant? Because they're both gnarly. Yeah,
maybe they're like cousins. They
yeah,
they have like cooking runs in their blood. But
yeah, so he's like he makes Cooper Smith a steak.
He cooks it to order, man.
Yeah, he's like, how do you want it?
Yeah, he's like being really nice to this fucking guy, dude. Like, it was so interesting to me. I was just like, finally, dude, Cooper Smith catches a little bit of a break.
So like, having lost my parents myself, there's actually a kind of funny line here where they're sitting there and he asks a question and Cooper Smith explains that his parents are dead and he goes, well, if you would have told me that, I would have gave you an extra lump of mashed potatoes. I was like, oh, wow. That's actually kind of funny.
Dude, an extra mash, man, never hurts. I feel like I can eat so much mashed potatoes, just side note. Like, it's one of those foods that I probably, like, will give myself a stomachache eating. I love it so. Anyway,
back to
Anyway, off of my lust for mashed potatoes. Yeah, dude. But I thought that was really funny. And so you find out that the cook also has been like kind of keeping like a litter of pups.
Yeah.
At the school, but it's kind of hush hush because the military academy seems to be a bunch of dickheads, and so they won't let them have the dogs there. But he wants to get rid of the weakest one, like the weakest one who's not drinking the. Yeah, he's just like whatever, it's gonna die. Like he's just fine with it. He's not gonna try and help. But then Cooper Smith is just like, just give him to me, man. I always wanted a fucking dog. Like I'll figure it out. Like it's off your plate. You don't have to worry if he lives or dies. Okay.
He has some great lines here that could relate to society, where he's like, you got to be able to kick and scratch just to make it, Yeah. Only the strongest ones get the biggest scraps, or something. But he gets the dog. Yeah.
You're right. He's like, you got to kick and scratch to make it. I like that. But yeah, dude. So he gets the little dog, and he names it Fred.
Yeah, such a cute little puppy. Yeah,
it's such a cute fucking dog, dude. I was nervous the entire time for that dog. But anyway, so he gets the dog and he brings it just immediately down to his cellar lair that he's developed, and like kind of puts in this makeshift kennel, and it, and then he kind of, it's just like, I don't know. I just kept wondering like how often he was checking on that dog. As somebody who has a small puppy himself, I was just like, what's Fred up to, man? What's he doing?
Poor Fred in that cellar.
But then it kind of goes from there to, I believe, where is it? It's like it goes from there to the scene with the secretary.
No, so no, not quite yet. So first
he has an interaction with Sarge, man.
Yeah. But we're kind of, that's still, so first, like, it's not really important, but first he goes and he tries to do he does a different, like, thing with the computer. And he's trying to conjure and command the Prince of Darkness. And while he's doing that, he hears these weird noises and these figures wearing robes and masks, like grab him and he gets knocked out. And it turns out it's the bullies. And they flee, but he wakes up and he's like thinking that it worked. He's like, he says, far fucking out.
Yeah,
it works.
Yeah, dude. Like,
and then the computer flashes a pentagram.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Because like the dead giveaway for the viewer was like, you see the bullies, like they have like horse masks and stuff.
Yeah.
On. And and I thought it was so funny because immediately I just thought he was going to assume that he had just gotten like the butt end of a prank again or something. But to have his character like believe it was immediately like a really cool turn, because then he was just like, he immediately wanted to go further down that rabbit hole. You know what I mean?
It's true. That's a good point. So then he's taken out the next scene. He's taken out the trash, and the cook gives him some bones to bring to the Fred, and then this is like what leads into the part with Sarge.
Yeah. And Sarge, man, Sarge is
man,
like cringy, dude. Sarge is creepy, man.
Yeah.
Like this fucking who played him? I don't even know his name.
He looked familiar, but I don't know if I've ever seen him anything, but he looked familiar.
He did look familiar for some reason, but side character familiar.
He hears a noise, and he comes to investigate and finds the cellar room, but he also finds his crowbar.
Which he assumed had been stolen earlier.
Yeah. And Cooper Smith did lie to him. He's like, I don't know, but I'll help you look for it or something. But
that triggers the hell out of Sarge, man. Oh my god, dude, he's like ready to take. Well, he was on the verge of making Cooper Smith a little girl. That's what he told him. It was so
such
weird.
A creepy line.
I was just like, what the fuck is Sarge about, man? But yeah, so Oliver a crowbar too, which was crazy to me. But then it again though in this scene, the computer screen has like one of those like moments. It's really starting to become its own character.
It's like a sentient character, yeah.
Yeah, and it like flashes, and the way that they did Sarge's demise was so cool. Like it was probably one of the best shots in the movie, in my opinion. Just like his head starts kind of turning, and then just like full on just rotates
180 degrees.
Oh man, yeah. And it looked cool, dude. It was just like, I don't know. It was just some really good FX.
It looked like he had like his neck was hurting, and then it was like,
yeah. Because at first it didn't all happen at once, and that was what was really cool about the whole sequence. You were just like, something's pulling on him.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, the dude fucking deserved it, because that was like he was about to do some gnarly shit to poor Cooper Smith, man.
Yeah, like there was like implied like. Yeah, anyway. It was going to get creepy.
Yeah.
So I like how Cooper Smith runs and he tries to tell the colonel and his coach, and they just instantly belittle him and dismiss him. They're like, "You're dismissed, Private."
Yeah, dude, like it's just like They're not like, they just don't, like, nobody at this damn school except for the cook gives a shit about Cooper Smith.
Yeah.
God damn, it's fucking crazy. And then
so yeah, he tries to hide the body, and he finds like another catacomb with
skeleton or whatever.
Yeah, there's like dead bodies, and he finds the cross-shaped crypt of Father Esteban.
Yeah.
And then the secretary scene that happens is super cool.
It is. So, you know, like the secretary who's been kind of infatuated with the diary of Esteban that Cooper Smith doesn't know she has at the moment. She takes it home, and she kind of is like, she continues to try and mess with the medallion piece on there, and like cuts her hand or something like that. And then immediately there's this cut to her like in some lingerie, like taking off the rest of it and going into the shower. You know, classic 80s. And
like,
then,
of course.
It was like a hard cut too. It's like a hard cut to like all of a sudden lady in like a thong walking into the shower, and you're just like, what the fuck just happened? But then while she's in the shower, you start hearing some things start happening. So this is when the triggered pigs from earlier kind of like start, coming into play, making sense. She's in the shower and she's hearing some stuff, thinks it's all cash and cool. And then, eventually it just leads to boom, full on boar invasion. And dude, but the boars annihilate the fuck out of her, man. Like, it was crazy, actually. Like, they were just like going, I don't want to say it again, but I'm gonna hog wild. Okay, they were going nuts, but like it was just, I mean, like,
yeah, they're just ripping her to shreds, basically.
The scene was cool because like it was like she falls back in the bathtub, and then like they're just tearing into her. You know what I mean?
And then the diary vanishes.
Yeah, just disappears, and I didn't know I had that capability.
Yeah, I didn't either.
It's good. Lots of mystical powers at play in this movie that you really only get a glimpse of. But yeah, so needless to say, she dies.
Yes. That would be a terrible way to die,
dude. It would be so gnarly. I would hate that so hard. But then where is it? Then it's like a whole sequence where there's kind of like, it seems like there's like some like a pep rally like beauty pageant happening at the school.
Did you catch the name of the beauty pageant?
Was it Miss Artillery or something?
Miss Heavy Artillery. You know what it reminded me of?
What?
So we were talking about like wrestling briefly.
Yeah.
In the 90s in WCW, there was this, it was a group, they were called Misfits in Action, MIA. And they all had like there was Lieutenant Loco, but then there was General Erection.
Oh, God.
But then there was a girl that was part of the group who was actually a porn star, and her name was Major Guns.
Oh, no.
God. So Miss Heavy Artillery reminded me of that. But yeah, it's like this pageant. It's so weird.
It was just so random.
Yeah.
So that's all going on. And then in this really strange sequence, Cooper Smith's trying to go out of his way to go tell the pageant contestant that I guess he thought should have won.
Yeah.
That like she did the best job. It was strange. But then immediately the bullies come up and they're all smoking dope. Like they're all smoking dope. And then they make fun. They like the main bully who's played by the dad, one of the dads in that 70s show.
Huh.
That dude, the main bully.
Oh my God!
It's Don Stark, dude. He's like the next door neighbor of Red Foreman.
That's right, but he's just super young in this movie.
Yeah. But anyway, so
Caldwell,
he's like, he in this like really malicious way, sort of like, I'm cutting you from tomorrow because you're smoking dope, Cooper Smith, or something like that. It's like,
and then they de-pants him.
They de-pants him. Which wasn't really that bad, dude. Like, I have shorts that I wear that are shorter than that dude's boxers were. Okay?
Yeah,
no big skin there. But in the moment, if you've ever been pantsed, not a pleasant experience,
especially in front of girls when you're
one that you were just trying to like
hit on.
Hit on. So it definitely
it gets worse.
I mean, like, they continue. Oh my god! And this is what I mean, where it's like, that almost like that smoking gun thing, where if you introduce a gun into a movie, it's gun. You know that they're gonna use it in that way. It's like they introduce Fred, and know that. What?
Oh, sorry. Before you get to that, though, I'm gonna let you get to that, but yeah. So he gets the pants, and then the Colonel. So this part.
Oh my god!
Was like. Yep. The Colonel rolls up and notices that he's on the ground, and instead of asking him what happened or being upset at the bullies, he basically just like tells him to go. He's like, he kicks him off the soccer team. He's like, what are you doing, Private? Like, this is too much,
Yeah, like, dude, it was so jacked. Like that was part. That's why, like, I was 100% on Cooper Smith's side in this movie. I'll say that right now
for sure.
But like literally, it was this devastating scene where like he's like lying face down in the grass,
basically
the Colonel
crying.
Walks up, he's like, and he like sees him, like Cooper Smith looks at him, he's like red in the face, like tearing up, like clearly in distress, and the Colonel just like basically belittles him and kicks him off the fucking soccer team. It was the most. It was so strange, and but like, and that's the thing though. Like, I thought that was going to be the triggering moment. Like all of this, like, and then,
but no, it gets worse.
There's no way you can write off boys will be boys in this situation.
Hello. Yeah.
They go, so the bullies continue to have their good time party before the big game, and they, wind up trying to drink some beers with the pretty ladies from the Miss Heavy Artillery pageant, and. They end up down in Cooper Smith's lair. Basically, they discover it and they end up down in his hideout down there, and they also discover Fred. And this is after they've read the flashing screen, also sending the message like need a consecrated host, to complete this thing. And they're like, what the fuck does that mean? So, so they go, and being in this drunken state, we'll say, they decide to take Cooper Smith's dog Fred and kill him, sacrifice him.
I did not see that coming.
It was so hard, dude. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
What did that puppy do? Like, who would? It's one thing to bully a person, which is still fucked up, but to just in cold blood kill a puppy. Like,
kill it.
What is wrong with you?
Helpless little adorable animal.
Yeah. What is wrong with you?
Oh my god, dude. I was so unnerved by that whole thing. And I was
like by the time the ending comes and he gets his revenge, like, you are so 100% ready for it and happy that it happens.
Yeah. And because like, so that whole thing happens, and they basically just leave Fred down there, and you come to Cooper Smith basically finding Fred after a while.
Yeah.
And he's like covered in blood. It's really like actually like heart-wrenching sequence where it's like you see him like holding this little like limp body, and he's covered in the blood, and he's just fucking crying.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, like I wanted him in that moment. I wanted him to like straight up get his fucking like I wanted him to like, yo, where's Father Esteban? Let's like burn this mother down.
Which is coming, but yeah.
But there's still like stuff to do. Cooper Smith has to complete the ritual.
Right.
It's not just as simple.
Which, speaking of which, as he's sitting there with the dead body, the computer starts flashing again, and then he's sitting on Esteban's crypt, and a like bolt of lightning or whatever cracks it open, and the diary reappears there.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. It was just mysteriously gone for this entire time, and it just reappears there. But that leads Cooper Smith to really like going for the completion of the ritual, I guess, right?
Yes. Yes.
And what's kind of funny is they build up this whole sequence where like the bullies and all these people that he fucking hates are kind of congregating in the chapel, and he's
they're getting ready for their soccer game.
And he's below, working on his ritual, and I thought that was a really cool dynamic. But then his asshole teacher from earlier notices that he kind of left he had some blood on him, and he saw some suspicious behavior from him as he goes to collect a silver, because Cooper Smith grabbed a silver cup out of the chapel or whatever.
Yes.
And follows him down to his cellar.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that he dies,
it's awesome.
So fucking cool. Like it was this like really like you knew something was gonna happen, but then it just happened. Like Cooper Smith turns around all of a sudden and then just bum rushes this dude and like picks him up and like throws him onto this like spiked thing hanging from the ceiling. It was it was epic as fuck.
It was
like,
cool.
Cooper Smith's got he's got rage strength, man. He's like,
at this point you're like, you're happy.
You're
like,
right.
As fucked up as it is, like that he's killing these people, like they deserve it.
Absolutely, dude. It's like when Carrie starts like going ham at the end.
Exactly.
Of Carrie. You're like, yeah, like fuck him, dude. Fuck him up. Like, I did. I was really I love that sequence just because like that, like, his body just hanging there. Cooper Smith looks like he got some blood from him in the cup.
He drinks it.
He slams it. He doesn't slam. He's a little trepidatious.
Like I said earlier, how there's a couple deaths, and then the last 10 minutes is bonkers. Like this is where it happens, because he essentially completes the ritual, and it has this scene where he kind of gets possessed by Father Esteban, and his face gets taken over, and then he winds up with the sword in his hand.
Yeah, the sword from earlier. And it was a really cool sequence. I like, again, granted, this is 81, and the way they did like the face transformation really looked cool still to me.
It did.
But so basically, like you said, he seems to get possessed by Father Esteban, and then proceeds to like he just starts picking people off. It's basically like the Reverend's
starts with the Reverend.
Yeah, he's giving it like a sermon upstairs to the good old boys, and they notice like a nail coming out of like one of Jesus's hands in a statue, and then it's like a fairly long sequence of like watching it as it slowly struggles, and the arm on the statue seems to be pulsating. And then it just like pops out and then immediately like impales the Reverend in the fucking forehead or whatever. Dude, it was like down. He was, and then
they get locked in. And then Cooper Smith comes flying through the ground with like an explosion and fire. And then a guy gets burnt to death, and then
dude, part where guy on fire sequence. Really
there's a couple of
awesome.
Them.
There's a couple of them in this.
The pigs start busting in, but anyway, so the scene where Cooper Smith flies forward and cuts through the guy's head and kills him.
Yeah,
it's super cool, but you can see a string. Only negative, I'll say. You can see a string, but that part was badass.
That was dude. I was like the authority of that swing, man. Like, dude made that dude's head explode.
So here's a fun fact. I was reading something where when they were initially filming that, he didn't swing hard enough to like cut through the fake head they made. So he went and practiced with the sledgehammer. So when he came back to do it with the sword, it would be like lighter and easier for him to do.
That's awesome.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a really smart move, man. Dang, yeah. And so, you're right. Like at this point, like the whole church chapel is on fire. There's boars running around chasing all of his bullies, and a couple of them get annihilated by the boars.
A couple get their heads cut off. Yeah.
A couple get their heads cut off. What was the ultimate fate of the main bully? How did he?
Caldwell.
How did Caldwell die?
He's like running and he makes it downstairs, and then Sarge's like reanimated body comes back to life and just fucking rips his heart out.
Dude, again, a really cool sequence. Like, because Sarge gets him in a chokehold and like pins him against the wall, and then there's like that slow motion like Kali Ma almost sequence where he's like sticks his hand in the dude's chest and brings out the heart. Yeah, I that was cool. That and again, like, dude, like this slow burn of a movie was so worth like this.
It was
the last chunk of it, because it
was such
so
a payoff.
satisfying.
Yeah,
because you're like, at this point, even though he's just demolishing these people with his newfound demonic powers, like, you're totally sympathetic to Cooper Smith this entire movie, dude.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But you know, and the thing that I thought was really interesting was that this movie ends with him getting his revenge, basically. And then it just leaves you on this like note of like,
I love the way it ends. Yeah.
Like, you know, the typeface starts going across the screen.
I have it written down. Yeah.
Oh, what is it? What, do you have it written down? What does it say?
Yeah. So it says, so it's great. Yeah. It has, text comes up and it says, suffering from shock and catatonic withdrawal, attributed to his having witnessed the fiery death of his dear friends and teachers, Stanley Cooper Smith, sole survivor of the tragic accident at West Andover Academy Chapel, was admitted to Sunnydale Asylum. He remains there still. You know? And then this computer screen flashes.
Yeah.
And it said, and like from earlier, what Esteban says, it's like, I, Stanley Cooper Smith, will return. You know?
Will return. And it was doing that, yeah, like, and throughout the movie it did this, but yeah, like the weird type noise, like,
yeah,
it was like, yeah, it was, it left you off on this like strange cliffhanger note where you're almost like, are they gonna like bring him back? Is he gonna get more revenge? Like, they could, you know, the way they ended this, they totally could have made a second one.
Right.
That would have been ridiculous.
It was a great movie. I enjoyed this movie.
I really did, dude. Like out the gate, I was just like, "Whoa, man! This movie is like." It had like some really great laughs for like the date, you know, for it aging. It had some really great effects. It had like, a really shockingly compelling story. And I was reading that this movie, when it was I think it was released in the UK.
It's one of the video nasties, where they. It was banned in the UK,
Yeah, and it's subsequently, like, to be released in the States, it had to be cut down from its gore and stuff like that.
There's a version that's way different, apparently. Yeah.
Which is wild. But either way, man, like, yeah, this was a really good watch. I definitely, like, if anybody listening is, like, at all into what we're talking about, like, definitely, if you have not checked out Evilspeak, I would fucking check it out. Like, it was, I really enjoyed watching it, and I think that was one of the things when I texted you, I was just like, I was all about it because I had like, the way I watched this movie this week was I went to work early one day and like got jacked up on espresso one morning and just like was watching it in the morning. And I just was like, I was supposed to be opening the shop and doing stuff. And I just got so hyper focused on it. I was like, what is going on here? It was fucking cool, dude. I loved it. And I actually just like, you know, it's good times.
Have you seen the trailer for Halloween Kills yet?
I have not. I heard it dropped. I have not seen it. What's your take?
So fucking amazing. It looks so brutal and violent. Like,
yes,
it's going to be amazing.
Oh my God, dude.
I can't wait for
Michael Myers and the Halloween franchise has been like one of my, it's, if not like probably my favorite long-standing franchise.
Yeah,
it's definitely my top, like, you know, but oh my God, yeah. Do you know when it releases by any chance?
Later the Halloween season this year.
Oh my God, dude.
And then the trailer for Candyman is really good too.
I saw the Candyman trailer.
I'm excited for that.
That looks fucking awesome. It looks terrifying,
I love the original,
actually.
Yeah.
I
love the original too. So
and if I'm I guess I don't know this off the top of my head. I wonder if they're involving the original actor at all.
Tony Todd's in it, yeah.
That's what I thought, because I remember hearing about this a while ago and hearing that rumor, and I don't know if I ever. But that's super sick, dude. Because Tony Todd, like he's one of those actors. Like, he just brings like a very one of a kind performance to what he does. Like, he's a very unique actor.
I agree.
So that's fucking exciting, man. But yeah, I'm finally stoked to start seeing some like more good horror coming out. In this way, you know, I suppose this is like a different type of horror, but also like M. Night Shyamalan's newest movie, Old.
It looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks interesting.
It looks like a Shyamalan movie, but it looks kind of creepy too. So I'm hoping that we get some more horror, especially as the theaters are opening back up. Man, for sure. I saw my first movie in theaters recently.
What?
Oh, Fast and Furious 9.
Oh, how was it?
Oh, dude, it was like the perfect kind of movie to go see back on screen.
Yeah,
it's huge, bombastic, over the top, and you're just like, you know, I was not used to surround sound again in the theater. Like when it started playing, I was like there's speakers all around. Like I was like tripped out for a second, dude.
It's been a while, yeah.
It's been a while, but
I might have to go see that this weekend.
It's a fun one. It's over the top. If you know, how
was John Cena in it?
Oh, dude. John Cena, he was fine. Like I think he gave out of the ensemble that Fast and Furious has, John Cena gave a great performance. Okay. I'll say that. But
I'm looking forward to his role as the Peacemaker.
Yeah, me too, dude. Like he looks like he's really gotten into that role too.
Yeah,
which makes it all the better. And James Gunn's developing a series for that too. So that'll be fucking cool. But
before we get too off point, we might as well wrap this up.
Yeah, we'll wrap this one up for the hot dogs. My friend, this was a great watch. Like I said, I definitely recommend anybody out there to watch it. This fucking ridiculous fun. But we'll definitely be back again next week with another fresh movie for you. That'll be episode 7. Man, we just keep rolling on them. I'm stoked, man.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't know if we have a movie yet, hot dogs, but we'll pick it out. Well, you know, you'll see it on the next one.
Yes, you will.
Any final thoughts for anybody?
No, just so I wanted to say this at the beginning, and I don't know if Jeremiah is going to listen, but I listened to your guys' podcast, and I thought it was really cool what he said. So I just wanted to say, Jeremiah, I appreciate the kind things you said, and if you want to get my phone number, get it from Jared, but I'd love to get back in contact with you.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. That's one of the things I've been really enjoying about Old Heart Radio lately. It's been, you know, it's finally, you know, some of those branches on the proverbial tree are really growing, and we're starting to branch out and be connected with each other again. Because, you know, you, Jeremiah, Nick, Dusty, any litany of people that we had, you know, in our circle growing up, are all fantastic people to have in your life. And I appreciate that everybody's been receptive to getting back in touch. So, hey,
I have too.
Much appreciated to everybody. Much love to everybody. I guess we'll see you next week for another WacArnold's Brothers podcast.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good night.